Hello, YouTubers. Greetings. Welcome to another episode of the Chog blog. Today we're going to do our top 10 list. We're each going to do a top 10 list of our personal favorite figures. These are just the most valuable, most best, just the ones that mean most to us personally in our own collection. Yeah, every one of these figures is going to have a story behind it and why it means a lot to us. But so we're going to start with mine. We're each do our top 10. Like a lot of our figures will be the same too, because we had a lot of the same figures growing up. But I'm going to start with my top 10.
My first favorite figure, this is RoboCop by NECA. I mean, this thing just has amazing detail. I mean, and it has like a little, oh, there goes his gun, but it also has a little thing on his leg where you pop it open and squeeze that and his leg pops open. I can't get it to pop open now, but it's pretty cool, and the gun fits in there. So that's a pretty recent one too. So that's one of my favorites. And then this one, this is a pretty new one too. This is the Skeletor from the motion picture Master Universe. I remember when I first saw that movie, Skeletor. Movie wasn't that great, but I love the design of that Skeletor, and I was hoping for a figure for so long, and finally they released one. And this one just has an amazing likeness to him, and the costume is just so freaking cool. He even comes with a cosmic key. Look at that Frank Langella likeness.
I just almost hear him saying, "I'll be back."
Yeah, that is cool. And this next one, this is a pretty recent one too. This is something I wanted when I was a kid. I always dreamed about this. And this is the remote control R2-D2. I couldn't find any batteries to put in here, but he has remote control. Like you said, this is his remote. It's a little lightsaber. You push it and he does little circles and
a 3-inch quarter steel.
Yeah, and it's just the tiniest R2 too, man. So cool that technology's come that far that we could make something that small remote control. And then the next on my list is going to be here. This is going to be the Sark from the Tron line. You know, these were my first translucent figures. I love these too, and they have like a glow in the dark weapons. His little disc snaps on there. There's only a few figures in that line, but man, that was a cool line. And Sark was the figure that I had when we got the Tron figure, so he was always my favorite Tron figure. And then my next favorite figure is also a translucent figure. This is let's see if I can get it to focus. This is the Invisible Man. This is from the Fisher-Price line. This is kind of their answer to Star Wars. When Star Wars was huge and popular, they started making space figures, and there was also an Invisible Woman that went with him. But I always liked the Invisible Man the best. He was pretty cool. And then that's it. And then another one that I really liked, I actually have him right over here. I have him loose and in the package. I think when we lived in Globe, I was trying to save up money to buy this guy. He was another Star Wars rip. Actually, he was a little before Star Wars, but I didn't know about him until afterwards. And I kept trying to save my money to get a Zem 21, but could never afford him. But so now I have a loose one and a carded one. Yeah. And then the next figure here is it's going to be this. This is the alien from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When we were kids, we actually found one of these at Safeway, and we had a bunch of change. We were trying to buy one, and I think it was like $3, and we had $1.50. And by the time we were able to save the other $1.50, he was gone, so we never got him as a kid. So I finally got one off eBay that I'd been searching for so long, but I just had to have him. he was just too cool. And then my next favorite figure is going to be from the Masters of the Universe line, and that's going to be Trapjaw. I mean, just look at it. I love his color scheme, his design of him. He's got the movable jaw. And of course, he's got the three different hands you can switch out. You can get the claw, the hook, or the gun down there. And he has a little belt that holds all his stuff. He was just an awesome character.
Love that color scheme.
Yeah, he's always my favorite Masters figure. We had a bunch, but he was my favorite. And of course, my next figure is going to be from the G.I. Joe line. That's of course the coolest G.I. Joe ever, which is the original Snake Eyes. I know a lot of people prefer the visor version. But I've always loved this. This is actually straight arm. This is one of the first Joes we ever got with Snake Eyes, and I was in love with him from the get go. He was just so mysterious and cool. And then my number one figure is going to be the blue Snaggletooth. You know, because I remember when we were kids, we had seen a picture of the blue Snaggletooth in the Sears catalog, and you know, we were really looking for it. And as years went by, we thought we were probably just remembering wrong that there was a blue Snaggletooth, and it wasn't until we were in high school that I found a catalog that was actually selling some blue Snaggletooths, and we ended up buying one. So that was like one of the most elusive figures that we'd ever bought. So that's my top 10. I'm going to give the camera over to Keith, and he's going to show you his top 10. Just keep filming.
It's a good solid list. It's a good solid list. Mine's a little bit better, I'd say, but I'm going to start with my number 10 pick. This is actually from the Playmates line, the 9-inch line. These are one of my favorite figures. I like it because it's kind of reminiscent of the old Meagle line with the cloth accessories and all the posability. But this guy he's got all the tubes. He's got really high detailed. Yeah, that's why the 9-inch line has always been one of my favorite lines.
Hold the mic right over here where the light's not too bad. Just like right between.
My next pick is this is the Supergirl from the new when they relaunched
I can't see it.
This next pick is Supergirl from the redesign when they relaunched the new 52 line. I just really like that. The face sculpt on this figure is amazing. I like the new design of the suit. I kind of like the old classic one better, but yeah, as far as redesigns, I think it's a pretty cool redesign. And next up, this is one of my this is my favorite Star Trek alien of all time, was the Gorn. I love that episode of Arena when Captain Kirk's fighting him. I wish they would have made a 9-inch figure of him as well, but I really like this 12-inch one. It gets a really good likeness of the creature. And he's got his little jungle-looking outfit. But
yeah, he's more accurate than that Mego Gorn they released.
It's a very, 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 very accurate representation of the Gorn. Next up is one of the characters from the Expanded Universe line. This is Jaina Solo, which, well, I guess she no longer exists now. She's part of the Legends line, but yeah, these guys are really, really hard to find. I was lucky to able to find this sucker at Tazos when it was on sale for like $5, but I think it's a really good character. Yeah, this next one up is Saavik from Playmates from the 4-inch line. She's definitely one of my favorite new characters from Star Trek 2. I love the red uniforms from that era. But it's a really, really good face. I mean, they really nailed it on this one for the facial likeness. All right. My next pick, I'm just gonna both put these as one, because Red Snaggletooth was always my favorite growing up. He was always my favorite figure. We never had the blue Snaggletooth as a kid, but we did get it later. But he was always my favorite vintage Star Wars figure. There he is. My next pick, same as with Vaughn, he picked from the Tron movie line. I had Tron when I was a kid. I just love the translucent and the highlights of the blue. And of course the glow-in-the-dark discs. Yeah, it wasn't a very expensive line, but man, we loved that movie, and we sure loved having figures to go with it. Yeah, my next pick is actually same as Vaughn's from the G.I. Joe Real American Hero line. Our birthday, we got 8 G.I. Joe figures, which was one of the best birthdays we ever had. All the figures were awesome, but of all of them, this guy stood out. Everybody loved Snake Eyes. They knew he was just so dang cool. Okay. My next pick is from the vintage Masters of the Universe line. This was my favorite character. He's Clawful. He's got the big old snapping claw. Big lobster boy. And I like something about the aesthetic of him with the red lobster and this green tan skin. Great character. And this will bring us to
#1 pick of all time. This is also from the Playmates 9-inch collector series line. This is Captain James T. Kirk from the movie Generations. I absolutely love the outfits. The red tunic, those Wrath of Khan era uniforms are awesome. And I'm so glad that we actually got a 9-inch version of that. I wish they would have made the rest of the crew, but I was living up in Utah when the time this figure came out, and I could not find him anywhere. He was selling for like $80 at one point. But then luckily one day at Toys R Us, I found one on clearance for $10. It's a really hard figure to find. But he's kind of worthless nowadays, but he's still my favorite pick of top figure. All right. Well, that's both of our top 10s. Hope you liked seeing our cool figures. If you feel free, if you want to just put in your comments, tell us what kind of figures were your favorites growing up. If you had any of the same ones that we have. Well, like I said, do us a favor and hit like and subscribe. And as always, keep on chogging.